What I particularly like about this painting is the modesty and humility, the simplicity of the composition on the one end, but on the other end, the painting is so exquisite and so exuberant in its attention to detail. Zurbarán created this dialectical tension between the simplicity and these virtuosic qualities. I like the way the space in Zurbarán painting being compressed by using a very dark background and relatively narrow ledge for the foreground, bringing a very particular tension. It's almost breathless and deadly, and yet there is something so alive in the painting. There is something about the mathematical arrangement of the elements, trying to reach perfect balance between those very few elements, and within this perfect balance we reach a distilled composition, this idea of equilibrium which can be associated with death or the end of things. When I look at this painting, it seems that the process is so introverted, and that is engagement with the surfaces, with the subject, with beautiful and delicate relationship of the flowers that just hanging in balance, and the proximity of the petals to the edges of the cup, the way the lines, is into this void of the plate. Also, you look at the circular shapes through the painting, and you see how many circles existing on the plate, each of the petal, and handle of the cups, the top of the cup. It's a circle within a circle, and at the same token, one can look at the triangular relationship that exists between the three elements and how those geometries are holding tension in relation to each other. For a work of art to come to life, it's about those relationships that exist in between attraction and repulsion. And there is something about this painting that on the one end is so modest and pure, and on the other end you realize the energy, time, and almost show-off qualities that are coming to life in the reflections of the surfaces that are just so exquisite. The abilities of the painters are way beyond any other still life painting throughout the history of painting, and I can say this without exaggerating. I think that there is something so beautiful just in engaging and looking and allowing those elements that are just, they are present, they're on the surface. When I make works that is somehow in conversation with old masters, where the starting point is that those pieces will resonate over a long period of time, and one day something will come together somehow in a way that I cannot really pin down. I'm not sure in 100 years or 200 years from now if any of my work will survive and somebody will encounter with it, how they will interpret them. What I really would hope that the experience will be more a formal one, and through looking